So there is a food item so humble, it's always in the background of our lives. It saves so much money and we can prepare in so many ways. Let's talk about this food and I'll be back in a minute. Good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Saturday morning chat. How you doing today? Hope you have a cup of joe with you. There's a wonderful food. It does not cost an arm and a leg. It's always in the background noise of our lives, and it is the humble potato. Personally, I think we take potatoes for granted. I know that sounds rather silly, but I believe that we do. Sometimes we need to be reminded of how many things we could do with potatoes. Potatoes are good for you, and if you do them upright, they can be really, really healthy. Sometimes you can make them a little more flavorful and maybe live a little bit on the larger, if you will, on that. And there are ways that we can cook potatoes. And I'm sure you have like 1,001 ways. Don't forget to share that in the comment section below. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. So we can absolutely take a simple potato and just boil it. You're like, well, that sounds rather boring. Well, it's what you do with it after you boil it. Now, I know some people who, in their own personal traditions, they would simply have a boiled potato with nothing more than maybe a little bit of salt and pepper on it, maybe a pinch of mustard, and they would call it a day. And they were perfectly happy with that. I do know some people that have done that. But sometimes many people want to bump that up. So what do? We make mashed potatoes. Now, mashed potatoes, you're like, listen, like, well, Janet, I know about mashed potatoes, but there are ways and there are ways to prepare it. Can I tell you something? When I make my mashed potatoes, the real ones from scratch, and I'm not belittling the instant packages because they certainly do come in handy. And honestly, at times it can be cost effective. Definitely a time saver. But what's to stop us from making a bunch of mashed potatoes in the beginning of the week, of which we can use from during the week and assumingly use them all up before the week's end? We could do so many things with that just one activity alone, making a basic mashed potato. Now, what I like to do when I make my mashed potatoes, and some people may say, well, that sounds a little bit too rich. Yes, I agree, it could be, but it is really, really a flavorful way to have it. I like to use a little bit of half and half inside of my mashed potato mix for flavor. And I like to use real butter. Okay. But if there's no other choice to use margarine, you could. But if you have the real butter, go for the real butter. But I think this one ingredient alone, besides a little bit of salt and pepper, makes a big difference. A little bit of garlic powder and a little bit of onion powder. No chunks of anything, just powders. What kind of powders and flavors would you like to use in your mashed potatoes? Then I whip them up. Sometimes I might leave a chunk or two in there. Some people like chunky mashed potatoes. Once in a while, I don't mind running into one or two, but for the most part, I kind of like mine on the smooth, but not too smooth, not puree. I don't want necessarily mashed potato puree. Excuse me, please. So this tastes so good together. All right. Now, with that mashed potato mixture, you could have the original one for like as a side dish to go with your slices of roast or chicken for a dinner. Now, the next night, you could take that same mashed potato mixture and you can make a completely different thing out of it, like potato croquettes. How many of you out there have ever eaten a potato croquette? What is a potato croquette? Some people maybe never heard of it. Basically, it looks like a hamburger patty. It's made out of potatoes. Then you put a coating of flour and flavored breadcrumb is my version of it. I like to do that. I just do the flavored breadcrumb. Okay. But some people use the flour to make the breadcrumb stick better. But you stick it in an egg batter. Let's pretend, let's say, make a patty of mashed potato and you put it into an egg mixture. And then some people put it in flour and then dredge it into breadcrumb. Okay. Then you fry it up. Yum. Sometimes I bump it up to the next level. And what I will do, my mom used to like this. bless her heart. I used to cut up some mozzarella cheese, shredded mozzarella cheese, enter that into my mashed potato mixture, make my patties, and then proceed to do the same thing and shallow fry it. Don't need to deep fry it. Some people use way too much oil. It is not necessary. It still gets the job done, in my honest. Some people rather make them in patties. Some people rather make them look oblong shape. Shape does not matter. It is the flavor. They are so good. Mind you, this is still made from that humble mashed potato mixture. So right away, you got two different things. On the next night, completely different meal. You could make an easy shepherd's pie. Why? Your mashed potatoes are already done up. Hello. Now, if you have any sort of like chicken pot pie soup, they sell them like that. You could thicken it up even further if you like for this purpose, or buy the ones done up, or make it yourself, with stuff that you have. It's very easy to do. It doesn't really cost so much money. And then when that's cooled off, you could just put it on the bottom of a casserole, okay? And then you could take your mashed potatoes that you already have done up. All the steps are done up. This is, mind you, with one mixture, one batch of done up mashed potatoes that you did ahead of time. Here we go, one a third one. And put those mashed potatoes, lay them, smooth it over on the top of it, throw them in your oven. What you could do is take some shredded cheddar cheese, and you could melt that on the top of the mashed potatoes, which is over your mixture. Hello, whatever mixture you like. I'm telling you, or even if you have some slices of roast and you make a gravy to go with it, leftover roast chicken or beef or whatever. I'm telling you, you could three meals, three completely different meals, all from the same basic humble mashed potato mixture. I'm telling you, they're so good. Next, let's talk about potato salad. Now we have the holiday coming up. Potato salad, homemade, is a very inexpensive route to go. So if you want to serve this, as a special treat or with your little party or just your dinner, you can make it easily. Just take your fresh, humble potatoes. And this is a shortcut way. Buy some new potatoes, okay? You could get the red ones. You could get the white new potatoes, whatever one you like. And they're very thin skin. You could eat the skin easily. So what do, you could boil those up. Now, what I do, I'm just explaining what I do. I already make hard-boiled eggs, and they're cooled off, and they're done to the side. Usually to, let's say, the amount of potato salad I'd make 2 to 3 eggs for the chopped egg portion of it. Put that to the side. They're already peeled. They're already done up. Then when I go to make my potatoes, what I do is I slice them down in advance, toss them in salted boiling water. You got to keep an eye on it because it all varies, with how you're watching your potato and how much you put in there. Wait till it's fork tender, but not collapsing. Like fork tender, get your fork and pick it up and take it out. You want it to be somewhat firm because after all, this is for your potato salad. Let that completely cool. What I do is throw that in a colander and I right away run it through cold water, and that stops the cooking process quickly. Or you can throw it in a pot of iced water if you like, and that stops the cooking process immediately, okay? Which is really a good thing. So you take that out, and then when you're ready, you could add your chopped onion, let's see, onion powder, garlic powder. I like to put in some bacon bits, like pieces of real bacon. Something about that little bit of a nutty little flavor in the bacon that really, really works well in a potato salad. All right. For me, anyway. Some people add some dried mustard or regular mustard and mayo. Add some mayo to that. However way that you normally make your potato salad. But by having your hard-boiled eggs already peeled and chopped and ready to go, just to throw it in, saves a lot of time. I like chopped fresh parsley in there. I like to maybe shred a little bit of, carrot in there, uncooked carrot, just a little. You could do it for garnish. Looks really good. Put paprika on the top of the salad, and here we go. All this from a humble potato. Okay, so my strong suggestion: run out and buy some more potatoes if you need them, and even if you like these things. All right, next, if you can, if you enjoy hash browns, you can make them from scratch, and you could add them into a breakfast casserole. If you have company and they're staying over, for the New Year's, whatever, waking up, want a little something to eat, something very fast, something you can make ahead, Just throw in your oven, and there you go. Makes your life easier, and you really got your money's worth from some humble potato. So I thought today would be a great day to take this opportunity to remind ourselves of the gift of the humble potato. By the way, just to mention, as far as flavoring instant mashed potato, like on those extremely busy nights, they're wonderful. What you could do with that, you could add your own garlic powder and a little bit of half and half to the mixture and a pat of butter or two in there, and voila, there you go. Now, the ones that are already flavored up, in my opinion, don't need anything. But if you're getting the potato flakes that have zero thing added to it, you add what you want. And those things really, really, really make an incredible, incredible difference. How many of you out there are dying for potatoes now that you're hearing this? At any event, all right, everybody, thanks for being here. I really do appreciate your time. Don't forget to click like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. Click that like button. Bye bye.